Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cheers Blueprint. I am your host, Angelica Prather, and my ultimate goal is to equip hairstylists and beautypreneurs to carve out your unique path and blueprint of success and take a seat on your throne as a CEO, a boss. Yes, that's what we are here for. You are in business to leave a legacy, and it is my goal to help you with the Cheers Blueprint to notify that, right? And so if you might be tuning into me for the first time, I am an income strategist, retired hairstylist, and have a passion for supporting beauty professionals to charge your worth through my signature program, Charge Your Worth Academy. And that is a group coaching program which helps you to get clear in your finances, get organized so that you can build that legacy, that reserve income, and diversify it. So if you happen to be struggling with that or you need support, book an income strategy call with me. That is in the description of this video. Today, I have an amazing guest and I'm super excited. Her name is Monique Parham, and she's going to be sharing with us all about her journey as a hairstylist. She is a veteran hairstylist, but she is also a hair replacement specialist, and she has a heart to serve hairstylists. And I want you guys to get your pens, your pads, because she's going to be dropping some great gems. And I want you to listen carefully to her story and how she has turned her passion into a profitable business, but also through her life journey and how she markets and promotes herself. So you're going to learn a lot today, not just about hair replacement, but how her triumph story has actually transitioned into a very profitable business and how she's now serving. So if you like content like this, make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. Invite your hair besties because this is going to be a really, really good one. So I am going to bring up my special and amazing guest, Miss Monique. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. So I am super excited to have this conversation because before we actually came on, we were talking, and I just want everybody to know how daring you are and who you are. So introduce yourself to everybody who does not know you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Monique Parham, and I am a hair loss practitioner, certified hair loss specialist, and I am located in Carrollton, Texas, by way of Chicago. So, what I do is I specialize in people that are experiencing mild to extreme hair loss, and I kind of bring their confidence back, get them ready for presenting themselves back to the world.
I love that. And I love it. She said it very modestly. So she's been in the industry. She's being real modest, y'all. So, but that's okay. That is okay. I'm going to bring it out of her. Okay. So tell everybody, how did you get started? Because first of all, you look fabulous. This hair is like popping, and I'm a short hair girl. I'm like, can I rock some blonde? But I really want people to understand, especially for hairstylists who may not know where their niche is, right? And we hear this kind of becoming a buzzword, but how did you get into this transition of being that hair loss specialist? Tell us about that journey.
Wow, it's really interesting. Like I said, I'm actually from Chicago, and I relocated to Atlanta. And when I got to Atlanta, everybody's wearing weave. That's just the thing, right? And so I started out. I was working in a weaving center,
Mm-hmm.
and fortunately, my niche at that time was short hair. I've always been a short hair stylist. Cutting was my thing. So one day, a young lady came in and she wanted a weave, but she wanted a short weave. So they automatically just sent her to me. And unfortunately, when they cover like things like alopecia and things of that nature in beauty school, it's very brief.
Mm.
So we as stylists have a lack of knowledge. So that was my first time actually seeing someone with extreme alopecia up close and personal. So just like the typical stylist, I did what I knew was I gave her a quick weave.
Mm.
But when I got done, she just like she hugged me and she cried for almost 10 minutes. And it was like, okay. As she began to come back, I felt like it had to be something else. I felt like I was being an addition to her problem by
Mm.
giving her a quick weave. That I wasn't helping her as much as I was hindering her diagnosis or whatever.
Mm.
So I began to take more and more classes. Like it's got to be something else out there. And the more classes I took, the more passionate I got about helping people that were experiencing, again, mild to extreme cases of hair loss. Because, we see a lot of mild cases, but when it's extreme, they're usually hiding.
Mm.
So
Wow.
from there, that's what it was. She allowed me to kind of experiment. Every class I took, she was like, okay, yeah, I'll try that. And so even like 11 years later, she still comes. So
Wow. Wow.
that's
I love that. It's so much that you said there because I love how you kind of fell into this, right? You
how,
love doing short hair, but you said something that was very key, that you felt like you were contributing to the problem. So you went out and started to find the solution so that you can become the solution. And that's what I tell stylists all the time. Finding your niche sometimes finds you by a way of passion. We can
yeah,
do multiple things. We learn a lot in beauty school, but when we become on the floor and years of experience, we start to find where our heart passion really is. And it's so I'm saying that to say to those stylists that maybe like I just do it all. And maybe you haven't found it. It might find you through a way of trial and error or just that spark, and not to be afraid to explore different things. But I love that you said you were contributing, because most stylists will never admit that they sometimes are could be the contributing factor to being rather than being a solution. So I love
right.
that. So now that you have an understanding that you fell into that and you start to take some classes, what were some of the classes that you did take? Because there are stylists that's Google, and I call Google the thrift store, right? That's taking and looking for everything. And I love Google. It's a way that we use, it's a tool that we use. But if I don't know what to actually Google to find classes or to find sources, and trust me, we're going to get to it. She got some stuff for y'all at the end. But what were some of the things that you were looking for? Because somebody might be on the same exact journey that you were on, or just not even know because their surroundings, right? They just don't have that. So if you can just inform some of those stylists about what it is that they should be looking for when they're looking for classes like that.
Well, that's really interesting that you asked me that, because if you're not careful, Google will have you in the rabbit hole,
That part.
like Alex, like you digging and you're all over the place. And quite frankly, that's how I started. And I was taking so many courses because I wasn't really sure. Again, like you said, finding my niche. I
Mm-hmm.
just knew that I needed to do something different. And so I even had friends that was like, if you take one more class, it did take a minute for me to be able to figure out I need to go this way and add that in order to make it mine, to
Mm-hmm.
just be in my own personal lane. So I think I started out with wigs, and then wigs on the sewing machine, and then the man units. And some of these courses, you have to be careful of the courses that you take. That's
Mm.
the key, because a lot of people are teaching, but they're not really giving that key of information that can take you to the next level. So it's going to be real important to do your, when you find a class, to research that stylist or research that class and make sure they're doing what you're trying to learn. It makes
Mm.
all the difference, because I can honestly say I've wasted a lot of time and a lot of money taking courses that couldn't get me to the next level.
Yeah.
You are interested in being like um, more on the medical side, then that's when you would go to like a trichology institute and you're taking hair loss practitioner and you're taking trichology. Those two things kind of marry. One is like an associates and one is like a bachelor's, but
Mm-hmm.
that allows you to be able to know what you're up against, if you will, as far as what might be the cause, what's actually going on before you go into the styling portion of it. Me
Mm.
personally, I didn't want to lose my creativity as an artist, as a stylist.
Mm.
So I stopped at hair loss practitioner as opposed to trichologist.
Oh,
And
okay.
because I still wanted to be able to have the creative side.
Yeah. And we can tell you're very creative. Look at that hair. Look at them lips popping. I love it. I always say we're stylists intentionally. That's stylish,
Yeah,
right? How you present
exactly,
yourself.
for no reason.
Yes. So I love that. But one thing I super want to highlight is that you did go down that rabbit hole. And I asked that question intentionally because so many people are on the Google hamster wheel and it's like, oh, this would be good. And so researching, guys, education is vital to our anybody's success. And when you are looking for education, the goal is to understand what the problem they're solving, and what the program promise is. So, what are you
Okay.
going to be getting at the end of your finishing of the completion of this? And I
Right.
think that a lot of classes in our industry, is just tech, right? The technical skill, and that's it. But if, like she said, the next level means, how do I market to these people? If it doesn't cover marketing, you just got a skill, but you don't even know how to communicate. How do I price for these services? They told you how much they are going to be pricing, but does your clientele reflect that, right? All of those things are very important when you're taking classes. And so I
Right.
love that you stress that, because I feel like there are a lot of classes out here. I'm not knocking anybody's classes, but make sure that you're going to get the ROI, the return of investment, so that you don't feel like you're wasting money or time. And that doesn't mean that the classes won't be utilized now. They could just be in your toolbox and be waiting to be used at the right time. So that was really, really good. And I appreciate that. So you said you stopped at one particular part of your career and didn't go to the next level. So let's talk to that stylist that might be where you are. And it's like, I don't want to go to trichology because I want to keep that place of creativity. And maybe they might not be in short hair, but they might be, I would just want to see people's hair grow. Talk about the journey, or what is taught in that process, like beyond going to a trichologist.
Okay, so again, it's really going to be important to figure out exactly where you want to go on the hair replacement, hair loss side. Because again, just like doing regular hair, some of that stuff is like going to cosmetology school. It's so general and it's so much information that you can get overwhelmed. And that's why a lot of people get those certifications and then they never use it
Ooh.
because they're unsure which direction to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm saying, the research is real important to figure out, hey, what do I really want to do with this? And that's going to help you choose your classes. So
Okay.
again, if you're trying to go into the creative side, which when I do my consultations, I always tell them when people get to me, they're pretty much exhausted. Meaning they've been to the dermatologist, the trichologist, they know they got scar tissue, the medical blah blah blah. I sell illusions. That's what I do. I build confidence and I sell illusions. And I make
Mm,
you feel comfortable about being you again. That's
mm,
what I do, and that's how I market it. And
mm.
so with that, that allowed me to say, hey, I want to take a class to know how to install something to somebody that doesn't have any hair or something. I guess I kind of just took it and molded it to make it fit me as opposed to me jumping in and trying to fit what they had. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, because I tell people all the time, you are your target audience, right? The
Yeah,
things that
yeah.
you love to do, right, is the thing that you become that audience, whether you have hair loss or not. Like, I'll give you a prime example. I don't do short hair. Like, that's just never been my thing. So I recently just cut my hair. So, and I'm not behind a chair, y'all. So don't be coming for me, right? I might be sitting in her chair. But when I did have long hair, I was a colorist. So I would play around with my hair extensions and do all different types of blondes and different things like that because I loved it. I loved to see the hair go from dark all the way to light and just play around. It felt like a canvas of paint. I wasn't coloring my natural hair, but I was wearing styles that my ideal clients love. And because I enjoy doing it, it was very easy for me to rock it with confidence. So I
Right.
was my ideal clients, right? And I went to certain places that my ideal clients like. You know that your clients might be suffering with hair loss, and that client, you might not suffer with hair loss, but you know what your clients are feeling. You rock short hair, so you know the parting, the illusion, like you want it to always flow a certain way. The haircut got to be on point because when it's short and you got one piece sticking out, it's going to be a problem. So you know exactly what your clients are looking for because you have short hair
I'm
and
gonna
you rock
say
it.
another thing, like most of us, when you start getting ready to cross over into hair loss, is because you've seen your clients experience it, your existing clients. Okay.
Mm, that's
It's
good.
real important to listen to them. That's also going to help you figure out your niche. So
Mm,
if 90% of your clientele they like long luxurious hair, then you may want, but when you remove whatever they're wearing, you see an issue again. Instead of contributing to the issue, you want to learn how to remedy it. So
mm.
even when so that will help you research your courses. Well, I think I want to focus more on lace fronts. Lace fronts can be a portion of hair loss if they're done properly.
Oh,
So
that part.
again, that's why that research is important. So like I said, just so happens that 95% of my clientele wore short hair. And again,
Mm-hmm.
I've worn short hair, so that's what I attracted.
Yeah.
And when they get to me, like I said, they're tired. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't. They're like, "Hey, I want to lose the wig, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to wear my own hair, but I can't wear my hair." So I kind of give them the short hair allows me to give them the best of both worlds.
Oh, I
Some of
love that.
it is theirs, some of it isn't. And then as far as the classes, what made me know that I could take it there was that man unit class.
Mm. Please elaborate. Elaborate.
So when I saw it get real popular, when it really started to hit the scene, and I decided to take a course because I was like, hey, I can do men too. We've all been that stylist that does everything. We've
Yeah.
all been her.
Yes.
And so I took the course, and I was like, okay, it's just really a matter of cutting and blending at the end of the day. That's really all it is. So if you have great cutting skills, it allows you to, kind of mold what you're trying to do.
Mm.
As far as your services are concerned, it helps you to mold your packaging as a whole. So,
Yeah.
hey, I can do men, I can do women, I can go ahead and I can cut this. So it just made me want to know more. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, when I first started researching, all the short hair, the units, everything was catered to the men.
Mm. So women
Everything,
So
yep, it
women
was.
didn't really have that opportunity to be shown that they are a solution. Like if they want short hair, they can have it instead of just always having long. Because long was always the most popular thing marketed out
Yep,
there.
it was most popular and it was the easiest.
Hmm.
Because you do have a lot of stylists that lack cutting skills. It's intimidating for them. So
That
if
part.
you're already intimidated with cutting, then you adding something and cutting it is just another, hey, I don't know what to do. So
Hmm.
then when you would see stylists, if they're doing short hair attachments, enhancements, it's always a quick weave. So then
Mm.
it's like, well, how can I do this without doing a quick weave? You see where I'm going? So
Yes.
that's what let me know it's got to be something. It's got to be something. And I just dug and dug until I was like, I think I can make this marry and be mine.
Yeah. So what I like as we're talking, I'm like, oh, that is so good because when you said that so many people lack cutting skills, especially, we get comfortable and we don't try to go to places where we are not so skilled. We always take classes based on how we love it versus I suck at this. Let me take a class in this, right? We might dibble and dabble a little bit, but not that much. So I love that you highlighted that because if you are great at hair cutting, you will definitely be fantastic at a service like this and it can take you further. So I do want to kind of pivot a little bit because I want people to understand by getting into a space like this, right?
Okay.
And becoming, a specialist at, hair illusions and hair loss specialist, all of those different things, the opportunity of income that you can make, because I think that a lot of people would probably, it's an investment. We know that in order to get here, your skill set has to be there and then you
Mhm.
have to invest in those classes. But what are the financial opportunities that you see by being the solution to this problem?
The biggest and the most beneficial is the collaborations that you can have once you cross over to this side. And I say that to mean because hair loss is not just traction alopecia. Most hair loss is medically induced, which means you can work with medical professionals, whether it be a dermatologist, it may even be a family prac, a trichologist, the Cancer Society, the Alopecia Society. It's the opportunities are vast. And when you cross over to that, um, I can honestly say there's no real cap. And there's no real cap because there is such a need. Now there are more people entering into hair loss. However, again, finding that niche, zoning in on it, and being open
Mm-hmm.
and understanding that it's bigger than what you think it is.
Wow. So,
Being able once you cross over to that medical side too, you're able to accept medical insurance, care credit, different payment options as far as like Klarna, Afterpay. things of that nature. Even though you're a service provided, you can still cross over and get bigger tickets. So the key to this is working smarter, not harder.
Speaking my language, y'all.
So,
Speaking my
and
language.
like I said, and it's a totally different tax bracket with less work. So I have coworkers that they always like, you're in and out of here. And so honestly, I can make their weeks work in maybe one or two clients. So I can go in and make a few thousand in a few hours, as opposed to standing behind the chair, taking everybody, missing out on family events, losing my social life because I'm trying to meet a financial quota behind the chair.
Mm. Listen, y'all, she's speaking my language, and that's why I wanted her to come here. Now, I know you guys are getting some gems. So if there are questions for Monique, make sure you drop that in the live chat because she will be here to answer your questions. And the reason why I wanted to stress that, and I love that you said collaboration, because I always talk about community. And that's the vital piece to anybody's success. But you have to do the investment first. Like, people don't want to invest. Tell you,
They,
invest, invest, invest. When you invest in yourself, you will reap a harvest on the end. You just got to water the right seed, okay? Don't be watering a whole bunch of seeds and spreading them all over the place. But what you did was you allowed yourself to say, this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to keep investing until I reach the right pinnacle. But you stayed in the same lane. So you didn't jump from, oh, I'm going to do long hair, I'm going to do short hair, you stayed in your true fashion. And that's why I stress so much about niching down and how that happened. And I love that you said there is no cap. That's the beautiful thing about your blueprint. There is no cap. When you become a hairstylist or a CEO, I would say you guys are CEOs in a confidence building business, and there is no cap. The only cap is actually you. So wherever you're not willing to invest in yourself, boo boo, you hurting yourself, okay? And we're not in this business. This is why we have these. Why I started this podcast is because I wanted you to hear from real stylists that are walking in your shoes, that have a heart to serve you, so that you don't have to go on a hamster wheel trying to be in Google.com and going
right.
crazy, okay? So I love that you said that, and how what you can make in a day or an hour is what someone's week's pay. And yes, I teach people how to actually charge for their services so they're not a slave, but she's actually helping you see another broader spectrum, that you can take that from always searching for clients just to do and make very little. So this is for those stylists. If you desire more, you want to be connecting with someone like this. Build your relationships. Even if you're just watching her, engage with her content so that you can say, what did you do? Because I always say, you might not be able to get to her, but she puts out content. That's engagement right there. And you can actually mirror her story. That's mentorship, even if you can't get to her. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Sorry, I'm promoting her, even though she's not going to promote herself yet. Okay. So I do want to talk about marketing, because before the show you shared, something that happened to you tragically, but she's here by the grace of God. But
Yeah.
with that income, it really didn't stop for you. You were able to take care of yourself. And that's why I love the opportunity when I say your chair's blueprint. She changed her chair's blueprint. It doesn't have to mirror anybody else's. It just became her. And life is going to throw you some lemons, and you got to make lemonade out of it. But she was able to take off of work in the midst of pandemic, relocate somewhere. And y'all, she still got a clientele. So tell us how you were able to do that.
Woo! First off, we're gonna say a lot of prayer, honey, because you do have some fear. Relocating it can be very scary, but at the end of the day, I see a lot of stylists that lack confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is going to be a bigger cheerleader for you than you. You have to believe in you. So that kind of goes back to too, as far as having no cap, is knowing your worth. If you've invested in your skills and you have the creativity and you have the blessed hands, that you can do it. Like, I can make this do what I needed to do. So when I relocated like right at the beginning of the pandemic. We went, it was like I moved here in December and then we was on punishment. So, I think all of us were scared, but it allowed me to really kind of zone in and focus and, like you said, make that blueprint go exactly where I wanted it to go. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do this and only this. And so, marketing for me, I think we all learned just how powerful social media is when we were in quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't use it, or if they're using it more social than they are as free marketing. I think a lot of people don't realize that there's having your personal page, and when you transition over to a actual business page, there are reports out there that help you understand who your target market is, where they're located, what they're looking at, when they're looking at it. All those things are major when you're trying to get your information out there. So in the beginning too, it was pictures. But then if you pay attention to your market and what they're focused on and what they're complaining about, a lot of them are like, hey, I see these pictures, but when I get there, she can't do what I saw. So then you transition over to, okay, well, videos. So now you see that it's actually me. You see that I did the before, I did the after. So making sure that your content is clear, making sure that your content is, it needs to be kind of clear, but it also kind of needs to be entertaining at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it needs to be a lot of things, because at the end of the day, you really, it's like doing a commercial.
Mm-hmm.
You're selling yourself.
Yeah.
And even in when you're out and about and you're talking to people, you're always selling yourself. But social media was just everything for me. And like I said, consistency and just kind of being on it. It can be a whole nother job, but it's like, how bad do you want it?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's gonna market you like you market you.
Yep.
Pushing pushing
Yeah.
the envelope and hitting every avenue. I must say I'm pretty bad with the lives.
That's all right.
I'm trying to get there, but the other stuff, being on all of the platforms and making them and just being out there and people will
Mm-hmm.
see, um, being involved in different social groups. Like I know a lot of people feel like Facebook is dated.
It's
It's
not.
for us. Look, it's for us old people, and that's
I'm there, and
yeah, right.
I'm there.
I'm a pro 18 all day, but getting in some of those groups and getting involved, but being seen, it's almost like, okay, if you're watching TV and you see the burger commercial, for whatever reason, now you want a burger, but it's
Mm-hmm.
because you keep seeing it. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing with social media. They need to constantly see you and constantly see your content.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are posting the same picture, it's about placement.
Yeah. Yeah. You're so right. And so repetition, consistency, and when you say how bad do you want it, if you are a CEO of your life first, which I say that all the time, and then you guys gonna hear me say that over and over and over. If you're the CEO of your life and you're the marketer of your life, every time you walk in a place, every time you do anything, if you are using social media to scroll, like she said, then you are a consumer. You're not being the business that's consuming. You want people to consume your content. And so I think that what you shared was really helpful because a lot of stylists, they say they don't like social media. And our guests previously shared about like different tips that you can do, but you start somewhere. You pick your platform and you go there, right? And so in your and you explaining, you talked about Facebook, you talked about I'm my best marketer, and that you even talked about it being out, like if you're out and about, how you look, how you dress, all of those different things. Don't just run to the store. Always be thinking about I am a business, especially if you're in the building phases, building, and you never stop building. Let's just be honest. You never stop building. Marketing will never go away. Any business person will tell you every business has an ebbs and a flow. When you start getting into that flow part, that's great, but you should never stop promoting yourself and never stop marketing yourself because you see that, oh, I'm at a good point, especially if you don't have a reserve income. That's a whole nother topic. Okay. Because people get comfortable in that, I'm good. I don't need new clients. I'm comfortable. But what you're basically saying is that clients can move, clients can go places, clients can, tragically things could happen to them. And one by one, you're telling yourself that I'm only going to be dealing with these people.
Mhm.
Right. And so I love that you shared about the marketing piece, and I always ask every stylist, what was your marketing? What was your strategy? And I appreciate you for sharing that. So y'all, if you are thinking about even what should be my marketing, what's the your favorite tool to use in social media? I know you're everywhere, but what's your favorite that you see that you get results from?
It's funny you asked that because it changes.
Mm,
So presently, today, is Facebook. When
really?
I was in Atlanta, it was Instagram. But Atlanta, because of the type of environment that Atlanta has, it's a lot of younger consumers. So
Yeah.
it's like keeping up with the times. So
Yeah.
they all shopped Instagram.
Mm,
So majority of my clients, where they shop and things of that nature. So
mm,
it took me a minute transitioning from Atlanta to Dallas to understand that. And again, when I was out, so like I said, the first out was quarantine.
mm,
Let me get my research. Then when we came out of quarantine, I actually experienced COVID. So then I was down again. Let me do a little bit. Let me see, can I tweak it? Then I was down again because we had like a winter storm that shut our businesses down here.
mm,
Then I got a health scare and I was down almost 6 months. So I'm gonna have to be honest and say, and with each shutdown, I lost a lot of people because I didn't have anybody to refer them to because I specialize. That's
mm,
what also made me want to start teaching it. So I could say, hey, they trained under me. This is as good as me. Let me send you over there. But
mm,
each shutdown, I dug deeper and did more research to figure out how I could better what I was already doing.
mm.
And this last time when after that health scare, I was down for almost 6 months. I was kind of in and out. It was, and y'all know that for hairstylists, period, consistency is always, they want us to be available all the time. And when they can't get to us, they jump in chairs. So client retention is important, but you got to be able to grab them.
Mm.
So, like I said, doing that research and just posting, and in my posting, I found I got more interaction, more traction from Facebook.
Mm.
I think it was just because of, again, figuring out who my market was. And because even though there are a lot of younger people that are experiencing hair loss, because I chose short hair, it took me to a different market, if that makes sense.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I had to kind of go where they were, and they're on Facebook.
Exactly. Exactly. And that I there's so much that you said that I was like, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Because I think that sometimes we overcomplicate it, right? And so,
Yeah.
like you said, life will throw you something, right? And you were up and down, close and open and close and open and close, but you did never gave up on doing the research so that you knew how to market yourself, right? And so the beautiful thing is when you said I had no one to refer them to. This is the part that I really, really want to stress to every stylist. You can be great at something, but if you do not duplicate yourself by having a heart to serve, when life throws you something, you have no community to send them to. We say we love our clients. If you love your clients, do yourself a favor and find someone who's duplicatable. You're not in competition. But if life has hit you, like for me, I went on maternity leave. I was able to give all of my clients to somebody because I had community of stylists. Now, will they be Angelica? No, nobody can be duplicatable. Even if you have the same name, you can't be duplicated. So I really want to stress to stylists, don't get so caught up in the competitiveness. Find people that do what you do and say, she's great, and celebrate that. So if life throws you something, your clients will thank you. Now, it's up to the client to say, hey, I love my stylist. I'm going to go back with her, or I'm
Yeah.
going to stay with her. But as you make room and make your door open, one leaves, another one's coming. So that's why it's key to be in marketing. That's why it's key to build community. I say this all the time on the show. This is about community. She's a coach. She does something completely different. I stay in my lane with my pricing and my, income and financial. But now that I know if I have a client that's like, I'm really suffering, I now have community to say, she is fantastic. Go to her.
Right.
She specializes in haircuts. She's the bomb. Go to her because I have community. That's what you have to make yourself to available for your clients. They're going to come to you about accountants, marketing, all types of stuff. Make yourself available to that. So it ties me into the teaching part. Tell everybody what it is that you're doing today. Because not only do you do hair behind the chair, what are you doing today to actually help stylists get certified in this special niche?
Okay. So right now, personally, I do a lot of one-on-one trainings, and that's just because, again, because I specialize in what I specialize, and I'm trying to duplicate me. I'm like you just said, I'm old school. I come from the generation where when we were in the salon, if I got sick, I can say, "Hey, Yvette can take care of you while I'm out," you know. And so because I still believe in that, I pour a lot into being able to give you everything that I have. Like as far as I'm concerned, like pick my brain. Like, and so I prefer the one-on-one environment as opposed to big classes, because then that way I can really get at you and give you everything. I want to be available to you when you leave because I want to cheer you on. I want to know that you're doing it. I'm available. Reach out to me and say, hey, I tried this. You know, I was uncomfortable. I basically like to just hold your hand and get you through it. Um, the part that I teach is more of the hands-on part. So we talked earlier about other trainings. So you may get your certification in hair loss practitioner. You may get it in trichology. You may even get certified as a hair replacement specialist. All of those certifications pretty much are general, almost like going to beauty school. So you have the general, I can get out here and do it. But then you go to the hair shows and you do your continued education to really pinpoint and perfect and specialize. So
Mm,
when you're ready to actually specialize, that's when you come see me.
mm,
So I will go through it all and I will actually help you determine what lane you really want to be in
mm,
and just walk you through this is how you get in that particular lane. This is how you stay in that lane. This is how you market that lane. But as far as the one-on-ones too, I do a lot in pertaining to hair loss, but I will teach like my biggest service, my most popular service,
mm,
which is the topper. So I'm going to give you the information, how to choose one, how to talk to your vendors, where to get it, how to properly install it. And then
mm.
again, because I specialize in short hair, you got to have some cutting skills. So
Yeah.
that's a whole other training. But like I said, I'm gonna walk you straight through it.
Oh,
I am involved in other events and classes where we're doing group settings. Like I'm getting ready to do a hair loss conference in Atlanta. Then I'm doing a hands-on workshop in Augusta. But
yeah.
all of those are group settings. But when you really, really want to get in there, then that's when you come see me, and it's just me and you in a
Mm,
private room a whole day, breaking it down, learning how to give the consultations, learning the different foundations, client prep, proper installations, at blending it and getting a seamless look. Like,
ooh.
yeah, just breaking it all the way down. So I like again, so I'm really just kind of duplicating me. I get people that reach out all the time, say, hey, do you know somebody that does this service in California? I want to be able to say, hey, yeah,
Mm,
I trained with her. I know that she knows what she's doing because I spent time with her. Go see so and so in California. Go see so and so in New York. And so
mm.
that's real important to me, like you say, to build a community because it's enough out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, y'all heard what she's doing, okay? So if you're liking this content, make sure you like and subscribe and definitely go follow Monique. She is in the description of this video. I am so honored to have you as a guest. And I said this earlier, but one of the main reasons why I started the Chairs Blueprint is I wanted to not only partner with other people that have a heart to serve and a heart that wants our clients to have the greatest experience ever. We are hairstylists, right? And it's more than just hairstyling, but you can take your career to the next level. Even when we talk about charging your worth, I'm very big on it doesn't have to be the traditional way. Your worth comes in so many different forms. And like you said, if you don't have the confidence, you can't charge it. You can't even specialize in it. You can't niche it. You can't market it. You can't do anything. So your worth value starts kind of within, and then it will transcend into your pricing. It will transcend into your talent and beyond that. And I just want to simply thank you for taking the time out to be on the show. So let everybody know where they can best connect with you.
Okay, and thank you for having me. You can best connect with me on Instagram. It is Miss Monika J. So that's MsMonikaj. On Facebook, You can go to my business page at HairBiz1. That's HAIRBIZ and the number one. TikTok is, I don't really do TikTok that much, but I'm trying to get into it. I'm there. You'll see some stuff. And so my TikTok is again Miss Monika J, MsMonika
Yeah. Well, listen, y'all, I'm going to actually put all of her information down below, her website and everything, so you can definitely connect with her on any of the platforms that you're comfortable with. I just want to simply say thank you so much for just coming, dropping, sharing your heart and sharing your journey of your Cheers Blueprint. And it has been a successful journey, but it didn't come with bumps. And I appreciate your transparency and really helping other stylists see that value and that worth that you have put into yourself. And now you're here to serve other stylists. So I just want to thank you so much. So if you could wait backstage while I close out the show, and then we'll be chatting right after.
Okay.
So guys, I just want to tell you that when I started the Cheers Blueprint, it was to highlight other beauty professionals that are actually carving out a unique blueprint for themselves. And when you hear Monique's story, you hear a woman of triumph, but you hear how she became a CEO of her life and how she marketed herself. And she didn't always pretend to get it right. She kept revisiting and re-evaluating what was working in her business and what was not working. So I simply just want to say that today's episode, I hope that it, number one, encourage you to keep going, to know that your skill doesn't have to just stop right behind the chair. It can go further, and it's okay to niche down. This whole entire month, we're kind of talking about niching, and I wanted to highlight other people that have picked their niche and did something tremendously of it. Once again, if you decide that you want to get clear on your finances or anything like that, you can connect with me down below in the description of this video. Make sure you like and share this content, and I will see you guys next week. Have a blessed week. Bye.